LETHEM to close the TAKATU bridge. Residents outraged over alleged wrongful arrest of teen. Guyana Suriname ferry service suspended. In the region, Prime Minister MOTTLEY says no to closing Barbados' ports of entry. And internationally, Sri Lanka school closures affect exam periods. Greetings and welcome to another episode of Headline News Update. I am George Gonzalez. Thank you for joining us. For the past several days, the Town Council of LETHEM has undertaken several measures to slow the spread of the coronavirus, COVID-19. Thus far, they have canceled the Rupununi Rodeo and closed the town's commercial district. Now, according to the town's deputy mayor, Deborah King, the municipality is preparing to close the TAKATU Bridge. Now, this is the bridge that crosses the TAKATU River, which forms the border between Guyana and Brazil. Deputy Mayor King said, quote, "We had a discussion Monday pertaining to the closing of the border. All the schools in Bonfim are closed, so most people from LETHEM would go to school there, and now the schools are closed, so they have eased up. All the Chinese stores have also closed down, so the Brazilians are not coming over so much, and we are hoping to close the bridge sometime this week." End quote. While the Town Council of LETHEM are considering closing their border crossing as a preventative measure, the government of Suriname has already closed their borders, thus triggering a suspension of ferry service between the two nations. Here's more on this report. Ferry service between Guyana and Suriname has been suspended indefinitely. The decision was made as to give Surinamese border officials time to prepare to process Surinamese nationals and residents as they re-enter the country. A statement from the Ministry of Public Infrastructure noted, quote, "The management of the Guyana-Suriname ferry service wishes to notify the general public that the MB Sandaka will not be sailing to Suriname today, Wednesday, March 18th, 2020, as was mentioned in an earlier public notice today. At this juncture, Guyana is willing to facilitate this journey, but Suriname officials have indicated that they will not be reopening the South Drain port until all necessary quarantine facilities are put into place to receive nationals of Suriname and individuals with Surinamese resident stamp. It is with deep sadness that we wish to reiterate that the Guyana-Suriname ferry, Suriname, will be closed until further notice. The management of the Guyana-Suriname ferry service will inform the general public as soon as the date and time are confirmed to depart Guyana." The suspension of the Guyana-Suriname ferry is the latest in a series of measures the Dutch-speaking nation has undertaken following the discovery of its first case of the novel coronavirus last week. On last Friday, the Surinamese government closed the nation's borders and its international airport for a full week as a preventative measure. Additionally, travelers returning from high-risk areas are being screened for the virus as they re-enter the country. On Monday, President David Granger issued sweeping powers through an extraordinary gazette that he says is to prevent the spread of the coronavirus COVID-19. The order empowers the Ministry of Public Health to engage in a broad range of measures to stop the spread of the virus, including the destruction of personal property believed to have been contaminated by the virus, compulsory hospitalization for those believed to have contracted the virus, and the spending of monies from the Consolidated Fund to fight the virus. According to the president, his directive remains in force until he withdraws it. As the Ministry of Public Health steps up its efforts to limit the spread of the novel coronavirus COVID-19, several ministries and government agencies have implemented preventative measures to assist in the management of the virus. For a complete listing of these measures, including all closed public buildings and a transcript of the president's directive, you can log on to our website, headlinenewsguyana.com. Villagers in the East Bank Demerara village of Caneville are decrying what they claim was a wrongful arrest of an 18-year-old resident. Esther Sober spoke to the residents of the community and filed this report.
Nobody. All them youth man is work. Nobody don't work. I got child and I don't like see on judge.
Disappointed and disgusted are some of the feelings family and friends used to describe the arrest of 18-year-old Richard Ramosindo of Caneville, East Bank Demerara. They claim that the police wrongfully arrested Ramosindo for allegedly possessing an illegal gun. Ramosindo's mother says that the whole issue began last Monday when a man from the village attacked the teen with a cutlass.
Can't what people say that the the Pierce nephew pick up fire with for and went and take cutlass and nearly chop up my son by a shop. And he didn't get for chop my son, he chopped the swing. A lot of people say that my son is wrong, so I like the public at least to listen to this, me plea, because my son there since yesterday and I ain't get for hear nothing about it.
The distraught mother claims that this was not the first time that her son was wrongfully accused, as she explained that the attack may have stemmed from an earlier disagreement. Ramosindo is reportedly dating a relative of the suspect family member, a fact that many in the suspect family disapproves of. They currently have an ongoing court matter. Since the incident occurred, the elder Ramosindo maintains her son's innocence. This is even after the police came to her home and only found a toy gun, which the woman claims belongs to her.
It's me gun. My second son, George, been gave me this gun 4 years ago, and she gave me daughter Dali. And after he take her next girl, I got the gun, and I just bring out the gun Christmas time, and I just make a joke and ask she ain't bring no more gift for this year Christmas, and I just make it a joke, and the gun in me bed here. I just tell me play with it something and lay them on the bed.
Headline News visited the scene and spoke to villagers who had witnessed the altercation at the shop. On the side of the structure, there were visible signs of violence.
The nephew go with the cutlass to Ricardo there and start broadside. You got the shop people them there could talk. Everybody come back and talk. That was it, and you end up like they say. But there's nothing, no robbery there. Them beat it by bad. They Ricardo them beat it very bad.
At the scene, several other villagers echoed the same sentiments. They claimed that the teen was being attacked and no officer at the Grove police station came to the scene to investigate or speak to witnesses.
The day, there was my son boy there the same day, we went out there drinking. And we sit down out there drinking, all of a sudden I see us running with a cutlass. I want to know his phone, he got it out, I see come here, so I said to buy everybody all around. When the people out now, I see like Rocky and I see all them boys left and run up the road.
Headline News tried to contact the station sergeant at the Grove police station. The officer promised to return a call, but there was no response up to airtime. Nonetheless, Headline News will continue to update this story as more details arise. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. Stick around. After the break, we have your regional and international news.
Hurry down to Zasco on 15 North Road between Camp and Wellington Streets. Quality products at low cost for every room in your home. 65 and 55 inches high-stand 4K smart TVs. Samsung French door fridges. Black & Decker appliances, queen and king size Canadian-made mattresses. German-made pressure pots in 5 to 9 liters. 12-piece pot sets, knife sets, cutlery sets and pans, commercial fans. Samsung smart stoves. Canadian-made 3-piece recliner sofa sets. Air fryers and Hamilton Beach hot and cold water dispenser.
For that reliable, prudent and courteous traveling experience, your choice is G3 Cabs, located at 228-229 Aubrey Barker Road and Beverly Close, South Renfrew Gardens. Travel in comfort and safety with our deluxe fleet of new vehicles and neatly trimmed drivers serving our customers around Georgetown. We deliver cooking gas, small packages, run errands, and provide minor vehicular roadside assistance such as jump starts of vehicles, flat tires, spare wheel assistance, and more. Contact us on 218-4982 or 218-4500. G3 Cabs. You can count on us.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC? It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news from the region. Despite the move by many countries across the globe to close their borders to non-nationals, Prime Minister Mia Mottley said Barbados will not be going this route as a measure to safeguard against the COVID-19 virus. Prime Minister Mottley contended that closing all ports of entry will create a substantial dent in Barbados's economy, leading to thousands losing their jobs, as well as the impact on imports and the movement of goods. She stressed that the World Health Organization, the Pan-American Health Organization, and the Caribbean Public Health Agency have consistently informed heads of state that they were uncertain as to when the pandemic will come to an end. Hence, the closing of a country's borders could bring, quote, untold hardship to citizens, end quote. The Prime Minister revealed that she will be meeting with stakeholders to decide by Wednesday evening what will be the way forward. And internationally, countries in Europe have imposed strict restrictions on their citizens' movements, closing their external borders due to the spread of the coronavirus in the European Union. Al Jazeera's Paul Brennan reports.
As the noon deadline passed, the normally bustling Champs-Élysées was almost deserted. The famous shops and pavement cafes of Paris shuttered by orders of the French president. Only essential movement is allowed now, and non-essential activity is being punished with a fine of more than $50. Across France, 100,000 extra police are enforcing a lockdown which extends beyond the streets and into the home of every citizen.
Pour vous donner quelques exemples concrets.
To give you some examples, a family lunch, dinner with friends, a football game with friends, a game of cards, all of that which might not normally seem important is now forbidden. Not just discouraged, but forbidden. Let's not downplay it. Each one of those meetings is a moment when the virus can be transmitted.
The North Italian city of Brescia is in Lombardy, epicenter of Europe's COVID-19 outbreak. The grave concern across Europe stems from the hard lessons being learned here.
What is really shocking, something we had not been able to forecast and brought us to our knees, is how quickly the epidemic spreads. Within 2 weeks, now 3 weeks since the beginning of the epidemic, we put a total 1,200 patients in Lombardy in intensive care.
And so, the freedom of movement enjoyed by Europeans for decades has abruptly ended. This was the traffic jam at the Franco-Swiss border, a 4-hour queue affecting even essential workers like this nurse.
Nos patients nous attendent, que nos collègues nous attendent aussi.
Our patients are waiting for us. Our colleagues are also waiting for us. These are still human beings. They are in their beds, they are waiting for blood tests, they are waiting for us to feed them. And here we go, we are stuck.
The EU's external borders are being shut too, a ban imposed on entry for non-EU citizens for the next 30 days. Relaxing the EU's internal borders, though, is now an imperative.
We have a lot of traffic jam of lorries transporting goods. The flow of goods has to be swift. We need these goods for the functioning of the internal market.
For the moment at least, the UK is resisting pressure to lock down its citizens. People have been urged to avoid bars, restaurants and leisure venues and work from home where possible. The government is offering $400 billion of loan guarantees to support affected businesses, and the Prime Minister has appealed for national unity.
This enemy can be deadly, but it is also beatable. And we know how to beat it, and we know that if, as a country, we follow the scientific advice that is now being given, we know that we will beat it.
But the prospect of a compulsory lockdown is looming. Italy, with more than 2,000 coronavirus deaths, is the worst affected country outside of China. And with more than 3,000 new infections in Italy every day, the burden on hospital capacity is almost overwhelming. But the rate of infection has slowed slightly in the Lombardy region, epicenter of the country's outbreak. There, at least, there is a faintest glimmer that the quarantine measures are starting to show results. Paul Brennan, Al Jazeera.
And finally, Sri Lanka has closed schools and universities to control the spread of the coronavirus. It has disrupted the academic calendar, including first-term examinations, which were due to start this week. Al Jazeera's Minel Fernandez reports.
Teachers at this small school in Colombo are ensuring their students don't fall behind in their studies now their doors have closed. They're preparing packs for home study. The government surprised staff here when it ordered all educational institutions to close for 5 weeks to help stop the spread of COVID-19.
This was critical, basically because we didn't know why the sudden, within 45 minutes we were told schools are closing till the 20th of April. It's not like a corporation where you can put a few files in the drawer and say, we'll come back to you. These are children.
All schools in Sri Lanka are now closed as it braces for a rise in coronavirus numbers.
There are usually around 3,000 students coming to this school every day, but fears of the coronavirus has kept them and more than 4 million like them around the country at home. The authorities hope the decision to close schools will help minimize the potential transmission of the virus among children.
Sri Lanka's health chief says the sheer number of pupils interacting with each other within school grounds would make it difficult to contain the virus.
They are not that matured as to how to behave in a situation like this. Can you ask your kid to wash your hands and keep the distance, this and that? Even adults violate, right? So it's not easy.
Dr. Jayasinghe is confident pupils will catch up on their studies when they return to school, but says schools must engage with them while they're away.
We can go to each individual child and open that pane.
Teachers at La Petite Fleur are brainstorming with parents on how best to use online tools for learning.
The technology is available, the connectivity is available, everything is out there. The infrastructure is ready. It's just a matter of putting a person's set of heads together and making use of what's available.
Students and parents seem happy for now with what they're offering. Home study packs and even term exams with detailed instructions.
I feel very happy now and I have more free time, but I also feel sad because I don't get to go for my basketball practices.
He just hopes the virus will be contained and he'll be back with his friends at school by the end of April. Minel Fernandez, Al Jazeera, Colombo.
Here is your 3-day weather forecast. That's all for this edition of Headline News Update. Tune in Thursday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube, or visit our website at headlinenewsghana.com for more news. Until then, Take care.